I'm going to record a little bit of a conversation with Dad Scher, hoping that just for family history we'll have some interesting items to play back perhaps in future years. Just a little informal chat, and I'll ask Dad a couple of questions and he'll respond to the very best of his recollection. Today is October 30th, 1977, and we were delighted to have the folks here for brunch. They're leaving in a short while for Florida, and so I thought that we'd just sit down and chat, and I've been wanting to do this for a long time, to just get on tape some of the sidelights, interesting moments that Dad can record in his own life. Dad, going back, seriously, as far as you can remember, what is the farthest that you can remember?
Well, that would be too far back, all the way back. How far you want me to go back? Childhood?
Childhood.
All the way back?
All the way back. What's the earliest?
When I was alone without a father and all that, raised without a father?
The very earliest that you can remember is
Well,
what?
when I was born and raised in the Polish village.
What do you remember of the Polish village?
Well, I do remember that I very poor. Poverty was very heavy. My mother had to support 4 children with a little tavern or krechma, whatever you call it. Support the children. We ran around mostly barefoot. Very little food.
If I were to ask you to describe the village itself, just to try to give me a mental picture of the village, what could you remember? And of course, this would go right up to the time that you probably left Poland for the United States. How would you describe the village to us? Was it big? Did it have paved streets? Did it have
No, they had one paved street that was in the next village. There was a federal highway, they call it, but it wasn't made on the American style. It was like little pebbles or rocks, whatever you want to call it. But that was a federal highway. It was going from one village to another. But the village where I come from, it really was a small village, 3 Jewish families.
3.
3 Jewish families.
How many altogether would you say? How large a village all told, with Christians and Jews?
Well, the 3 Jewish families. That's it, and the rest.
That's it.
The rest was Polish, all Polish. And
Well, then the Jews lived separately from the Poles. Is that it?
no, homes like everybody else. We had a house. They're no separate, just like everybody had a separate house, like you have, like everybody.
Would you say that the Jewish families were in about the same financial circumstances, or any were wealthier or not? There.
Yes, there was some Jewish in the next village. The next to our village was already wealthier Jews with better means. As a matter of fact, one was very heavy, rich, or whatever you want to call it. Very, yeah. That was in the next village, not in my village. In my village, it was very, very poor. I had to go to school to that next village barefoot, no shoes, nothing.
Actually barefoot.
Barefoot.
What'd you do in the winter time?
Until it was good and cold. Well, winter time, I got boots.
Roughly, how far would you say that going to school in the next village was, distance-wise?
Well, I would say a mile and a half.
About a mile.
About a mile and a half to the next village. There was a small schoolhouse, and that was.
Picture the inside of the house that you lived in.
Our house?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Describe the inside of the house.
My goodness, there was no wooden floor. It was one of these earth floors.
Dirt floor.
Dirt floors,
wow.
Yeah. One big room.
Yeah.
And in that room was supposed to be sleeping and tavern, and people used to come in, have a couple of drinks and all that. Everything in the same room.
When you say people come in and have a couple of drinks, you mean that your mother's business was sort of a tavern?
Right. She was a tavern keeper, owner, whatever you call it.
Tavern keeper. Right.
Yeah,
and people would come in and be served on that very same dirt floor then?
She was very much liked by the people, Polish people, and she gave them mostly on credit.
Oh.
And they paid sometimes with cash, sometimes they paid with
farm products.
Mm-hmm. And we got by, and my mother used to bake. Every Friday she used to bake that heavy black bread for the week.
It wasn't challah.
No, well, she baked 2 challahs for Friday night, for Friday night and Saturday.
But it was also black bread.
She baked 7 loaves for 7 days, a big loaf of bread, black bread, and that's it. We had a cow, which we had very little out of it, but was some. And meat, of course, we had once a week on a Friday night and Saturday, just a small piece of meat.
Where was this cow kept in the bad weather?
No, that's it. Oh, in the bad weather. Well, by us, we couldn't do any better, so she was kept in that barn.
It was a barn?
Yeah, it was a barn, and they kept it warm as much as possible. But the Polish people, boy, oh boy, when they didn't have no tavern, they just lived private themselves.
Right.
They took the cow into their house.
Yeah.
Into their house.
Did you ever do that in the very severe winter?
Not by us, because we just couldn't do it. We had a tavern, we had served people and everything else. And
now, I think you told me one time that there was a loft in that house, Dad? Sort of an upstairs, a loft, or am I wrong?
Oh, yeah, an attic.
An attic?
Yeah, an
Somebody
attic.
slept up there?
An attic with hay. Yeah, we used to sneak up many times there. No, we didn't sleep overnight there, no. But summertime we used to get up there.
Was that a wood house or a stone house?
A wooden house.
Wood?
Yeah, wooden house with a shingle roof, I remember like now.
Mm-hmm.
And it was tough. It was tough.
Was there any land to that house? Acreage?
We had very little by this house, but we had a piece of land away from the house about 5 blocks away.
Rented to some cow, or it belonged to you?
It belonged to us. A very small piece of meager land. You couldn't grow nothing except some oats on that piece of land because it wasn't fat land.
Did the cow graze there?
The cow grazed on government pasture, like it used to belong to the government.
No.
But very poor, dry grass. There was hardly anything. Of course, the rich people had their own pastures for their cows.